So compound semiconductor applications catapult. It's quite a mouthful, isn't it? Especially coming from a Scotsman. So let me break it down first of all and say why compound semiconductors? Well, compound semiconductors, unlike the silicon semiconductors, also known as microchips, devices, etc., are made up of more than one material, where silicon is obviously just made of silicon. Those combinations of materials give compound semiconductors attributes that are far in advance of what a silicon device can actually do today or even in the future. Not to say we'll completely replace silicon devices, far from it, but in applications or megatrends, if you want to use that term, that are driving new applications, it's compound semiconductors that will be at the heart of those new applications. Let me give you some reasons why. Compound semiconductors are more power efficient than their silicon counterparts. So therefore, they consume less power and waste less power. They can operate at much higher temperature ranges than silicon, so they need less cooling. Think about that in the application of a car, electric vehicle, as an example. And it will play its part in extending the range of that vehicle because it's using and wasting less power, and reduce the weight of that car because you're spending less money, and you'll reduce the weight of the vehicle because you need less cooling. But it also they have other attributes as well. So they have the ability to emit and detect light. That means they're ideal for the sensors. So when you think about automated vehicles and the level of sensors, whether that's LiDAR, the ability to see around corners through fog, snow, just any other day, a summer's day in Scotland, right? All those abilities, compound semiconductors enable that. They have much reduced latency. So it means that real-time communication is key. So when you think about 5G, the Internet of Things, augmented reality, virtual reality, it's compound semiconductors that will be at the heart of all of those types of technologies. If you look at then, why a catapult? Well, let's look at the opportunity. When we first assessed the market within the catapult, last year we assessed the market to be worth $66 billion. This year we reassess it to be worth $74 billion globally. Now the UK has just under 10%, something like 9.6% share. So kind of broad brush maths, the market in the UK is worth about $6 billion today. Probably quite surprising to a lot of people. When you look at how those megatrends will affect the consumption of compound semiconductors in the future, that market is due to grow to over $300 billion by 2030. So why a catapult? Catapults are normally set up where there's a market failure. This catapult's been set up because of the size of the opportunity that exists for compound semiconductors. Even maintaining that approximate 10% share, it's huge value into the UK economy, and embedding the design, the production, manufacturing of that creates an ecosystem here in the UK, which is a benefit to the end applications markets such as automotive vehicles. When you take that into consideration, even if we maintain that share, it's worth 30 billion, even 1% share can almost add 50% of the value that compound semiconductors have in the UK today. There are almost 5,000 companies out there that have the potential to adopt compound semiconductors and therefore design them into end systems. This time last year, we were looking at the number of power companies that could create an inverter to get into an electric vehicle. We struggled to find some. Now we know there are over 20. So the role of the catapult is to really help all of the industrial design that's going on at the heart of the compound semiconductor cluster in Wales. So the material sciences, the fabrication, the device level work is to help accelerate that from academia and production into end systems, to create that bridge from systems design, whether that's electric vehicle, through to material science that's been developed in universities. So our role is to accelerate and reduce the barriers of entry into those end applications. One of the ways that we'll do that is we're opening a new design centre, an innovation centre, at the heart of the compound semiconductor cluster in South Wales. That innovation centre will allow multiple markets and companies to come along and collaborate like never before. so that we can develop those technologies and accelerate their adoption into those end systems. You can tell from my accent, I'm a child of Silicon Glen. So a lot of people say to me, why compound semiconductors? Well, when I did my electronics degree, 5 years after I qualified, I was looking at all those jobs down the M8 corridor between Glasgow and Edinburgh. It was a who's who of blue chip microelectronics companies and electronic companies. 5 years afterwards, virtually gone. So I've got a personal passion to see that all of the research in academia, all the early TRL to late TRL development work's going on to make sure that we actually embed that in the UK and strengthen the links across the UK supply chain. The UK has the potential, when you look at the electrification of vehicles, has the potential to go from wafer fabrication all the way through to end system to create a full ecosystem here in the UK to support the production of the electrification of vehicles. Within this design centre, we'll be working with companies on what's called evaluation modules. So we'll be in part developing new applications so that it makes it easier for car design companies, 5G internet companies, whatever, to adopt those compound semiconductors. We want to do it in collaboration with the supply chain, and we want to do it in collaboration with a number of companies so we can keep that IP here in the UK and strengthen the position of the UK economy. By the end of all this, we hope to have worked with deeply over 1,000 companies. We will have made about 50 evaluation modules that we will have designed in collaboration with industry that we'll be giving out to industry to accelerate the adoption of compound semiconductors. We'll hopefully have created over 1,000 jobs, and we'll have created and delivered on 3 grand challenges. Let me give you an idea of what a grand challenge would undertake. If you look at today, if we take silicon carbide as an example, which is the underpinning technology in power conversion in an electric vehicle, can we make the silicon carbide devices and package them? Yes. But if we were to take the foundry work, how do you actually make a silicon carbide device? You have to go to Asia, or you have to go to the US. So how about we within the UK, because we have the core capabilities within the UK, develop that supply chain on this island for the benefit of the industry, so you don't have to go to China, you don't have to go to Asia for your devices, you can do it here and get involved in the design element of work, which means then you get the end system benefits. So part of our challenge is to create this ecosystem so that it has the benefits for the end application markets. We're up and running. We're about 40 people strong now. We just got announced in August, so we're ramping and we're accelerating pretty heavily. This new innovation centre will be open by the end of Q1 into Q2 of next year. So you now have an open invitation. Come along, get involved with us, and help make the UK the place in the world to develop these new applications and new compound semiconductors. Thank you.